Hello and welcome. Kerry here from Healing Humanity, the power of a proper human diet. And today I'm thankful, grateful, blessed, honored to welcome Dante Ferrigno to the channel. Dante, how's it going?
It's getting better. I'll tell you, it has been a rough,
To welcome
at least
Dante
a month.
Ferrigno to the channel. Dante, how's it going?
All right, brother.
Getting better. I'll tell you, it has been a
I'm hearing you
rough,
twice. Let me fix that.
To welcome
at least
Dante
a month.
Ferrigno to the channel. Sorry about that. Let me see here.
All right, brother. Better.
Let me
I'll
shut
tell you,
this
it
off
has
real
been-
quick because
I'm
it's
hearing you
making too
twice.
much noise.
Yeah,
There, I
maybe
got
got a
it.
second tab open.
Yeah, I did.
There we go. He's back. All right. Well, before we jump in, I just want to say it's an honor to have you on the channel. I'm always love talking to you, Dante. And for those that are watching on my channel, if you're not subscribed and watching Dante's channel, you're missing out. I know I give a lot of credit to Dante and I embarrass him sometimes, but I got to speak the truth. I would not be here right now talking about Carnivore, filming a documentary all over the world if it wasn't for Dante sharing his story. It's literally saved my life. It's given me a second chance at life. It's given my children their father back. Like it's changed my whole world. So I am forever indebted to you, Dante. I really appreciate you. And yeah, for those watching on my channel, go subscribe. There's a link below for Dante's channel. And we were going to talk about your channel and some struggles you've been going through, and the fact that hopefully soon you'll be getting back to posting on your channel and things like that. Where do we start, Dante?
Yeah, that's been the question that's been in my mind since I talked to you last Monday about doing this. I just knew I had to get back out there and, talk to people because otherwise they'd be like, oh, what happened? Did he die? He's been gone for a month. But yeah, it's hard to know exactly where to start because really what's been going on in my life has probably been going on for about 2 years with the constant work of doing the channel, doing full-time jobs, and changing jobs has been stressful. But I just realized I've been burning the candle at both ends and in the middle for at least 2 solid years where I just get up every day and I start thinking about what I got to talk about today or what I got to do at work or if I got to do both, which was often the case. And I was getting worn the heck out as far as mentally about doing this. I guess you call it burnout. And it probably didn't help that last year, there's some things I can't even talk about because like one of my former employers I'm involved with a lawsuit with, and I've never sued anybody before in my life. So you can imagine it must have been a big situation, but it's still going on. So I can't really talk too much about it. Let's just say it was a bit of hell on earth working for this person. But anyway, that's not quite behind me yet, but as far as being involved in that situation, it's behind me. And then I was struggling to get back on the ball and I started working for some insurance company and the insurance itself was good. Because I was basically on the computer from the moment I woke up until the moment I went to bed every day for, from October till about May of this year, October of last year till about May of this year, I was just getting digital fatigue, I think, doing Facebook, doing Instagram, doing Rumble, doing YouTube. And to be honest with you, I don't think I have the bandwidth to handle all this technology anymore at 52. And, I've been doing my channel by myself all these 4.5 years. And, nobody's doing the editing for me. I've gotten a few tips and tricks over the years, but it's just been a constant grind. And, I think the biggest problem is I'm used to being in control of things. I was the administrator at a retirement home for 10 years. I'm used to being in charge. I'm used to running things. I'm used to maintaining everything. And it has just been chaos trying to maintain things for a couple of years. And I let the stress start to build up inside, which is, it's hard to talk about because, as a faithful person, I like to think that I don't let adversity become stress in my soul, but it definitely did. And I think it was just because I was trying to be in control of everything too much. And that, what you would call worry, I guess, gives you a sense of you're in control because you're doing. And that's a good thing. But I think I was just doing too much. And combine that with the fact that 3 years ago, I lost my stepfather, who was as close to me as a father. A year later, I lost my oldest brother. And then a year after that, which was just this year, I lost my mother. That grief was piling up because I didn't take a moment to grieve the loss of my brother. It was so strange. Grief is a weird thing. I had my best friend's grandmother died years and years ago. And it was the first time I'd ever been to a funeral where I just started bawling. And that was a weird experience. I thought it would be like that when my mother passed away, but it hasn't been. So it's been a strange journey, let's just say, with understanding how to deal with grief and then also dealing with stress and burnout. And then when I made that last video that I posted about Osobuco, was my wife's birthday. We'd gotten a Airbnb out on the river here because she wanted to see her father come to town because he hadn't been to see our house since we built it. And so we had an Airbnb for that. And after that video, I did great all that day. But then the next day, my sister-in-law made this big cake for my wife. And I think I was just at such a low point with my mother loss and all the things that I was talking about. I said, you know what? I'm going to have some of that. Why not? I'll just have some of that. And I had a little more the next day. And it was like that started off a chain of events. But I don't know if it actually lit the fuse. I think it was a combination of the burnout and everything else. And the grief. And then, good Lord, Charlie Kirk getting shot really hit me in the heart. I mean, because I line up with his viewpoint on a lot of things. And I thought, man, if somebody could just take him out, they could do that to me too. And I don't know. That wasn't the biggest concern. My biggest concern that was just that somebody would do that at all. And I don't even know if I want to talk about that because there's so many theories and stuff going on around it. It's just it's a crazy world we live in right now. And the one thing that I have been in, I would say, is a faith pressure cooker for quite a while now. And it just got really intense in the last couple of months. And, it's not a bad thing. I really think the Lord allows us to go through difficult times. Job went through a difficult time and he had no reason to be going through it. I'm not saying I'm completely innocent of anything. Definitely wouldn't put myself on the level of Job. But I feel like I've been experiencing the same type of testing in my life to really see where my faith is. Is my faith in myself? Is my faith in my diet? Or is my faith in God? And it's brought me a lot closer to him, especially over the past month or so. You would think it would push you away when you're experiencing stuff like that, but it's been the opposite reaction. More than ever, I want to talk about my faith. And as a matter of fact, just before all this started, I had launched a second YouTube channel called Faith Rest. It's at Faith Rest. And I was planning on sharing some spiritual things. And I did a couple of videos there where I talked with another guy and I also released something else. But I feel like that was when all hell broke loose, was when I realized that I was going to be talking about that. And I think the devil just wanted to say, no, you're going to face some difficulty beforehand. And the Lord said, all right, he needs to have a little difficulty. I don't know when it comes to that, how it all plays out, but I know it's made my faith stronger. And that's been a good thing. The hard part has been after having the cake with my wife, she started to get some kind of illness. And so did my two boys. And normally I don't even worry about it when they get sick, as far as me getting sick, because most of the time I don't have any negative response, but stress lowers your immune system, and so does eating the wrong things. So I think maybe the combination might have put me over the edge, and I wound up getting the same thing they had. And the kids, it only lasted about 3 weeks, but my wife and I, it's been carrying on for close to 5 weeks. And the symptoms are constant, nonstop fatigue. Getting through each and every day has been like, well, I mean, it reminds me of when I had COVID the first time back in 2020, but it didn't present like that. Some of it did. I had no sense of taste. I still really don't, which makes it hard to eat a delicious steak and you can't taste it. So I haven't wanted to cook expensive meats. I've been doing a lot of burger and stuff, but I've been so fatigued that I haven't even been able to cook anything. Like I get up and I'm like, oh, I just don't want to cook. I don't want to make anything. Even with an air fryer, as simple as that is, it was just hard to get going. And it's still, I mean, today was another day where I just barely got through. I got up this morning and made a hamburger to take to work with me. It's about 1.5 pounds that I take to work with me. But every day that I've been eating, it's like every bite is a chore. Every moment getting through the day has been a chore with this illness. But yet, for the most part, I've been able to maintain my carnivore diet. I did make some mistakes during the illness phase because I just didn't have the energy to cook anything. And I live with non-carnivores, and my son works at a pizza place. So he's almost always got pizza at home. You know, as much as I have a hard time with him working at a place like that, I'm thankful he's working and he's doing well. He's just moving up to manager. He just turned 18, and it's like, wow, man, I didn't even get started that early in management and stuff. So, but anyway, he had some pizza here and I was starving, but I didn't want to cook anything. I really didn't even want to eat anything. And I thought, okay, I'll just have a slice of pizza. And I said, all right, well, I'm still hungry. I'll eat another one. But I didn't taste it. You asked me about that when I mentioned it to you on Monday. You were like, what did it taste like after all those?
It's a long time, right?
Yeah. Generally, I'll say in times when I've cheated on carnivore, it's like an instant reminder that this isn't good. You know, as I taste things that I used to love, like peanut butter tastes awful to me in the past when I've tried it. Chocolate doesn't taste good anymore. And I think once you get away from that stuff, it's kind of like if you don't drink sodas and then you have a syrupy soda, it's, ooh, what is this? There's no drink here. This is just syrup. So that's generally what it's like whenever I've done it in the past when I've gotten off of track. But this time, like I say, the illness just kind of knocked everything crazy.
Right. I feel so bad you're going through all this. I'm like, I just wish there's something we could do. There's lots of love in the comments. We can pray for you and pray that you'll find healing sooner.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of comments. I haven't even been. Let me see what's going on out there. I don't have any.
I love what you said at the end there, though, Dante, that you're looking at this in a positive light, because I know from interviewing you for our documentary, you've had a lot of suffering and struggling throughout your life, even when you were younger. But it seems like you're taking the position that it's all part of a plan. It's hard to understand sometimes, especially when you're going through what you're going through now. I can't even imagine all the suffering, but it seems like a lot of times in life, once you get through it and you look back, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. I kind of get it now. Maybe it brought you closer to God, or maybe it made you stronger. In some way, it's part of a plan that we just can't wrap our brains around in the moment. So,
yeah. Well, you know, the Bible tells us that, you know, sometimes you're going to have to suffer for a little while and you endure till the end. In some cases, you know, that like with the Apostle Paul, he endured until martyrdom. I'm not looking to be a martyr, but I do want to be able to arrive with my Savior and hear, well done, good and faithful servant. So it's made it easier to deal with the difficulties and realize that this is a refining process. This is what you go through to grow. It's just like lifting weights and exercising. All the stuff that I've done with that, which, by the way, this illness really knocked it out of me. I haven't been able to exercise for some time, but yet I've been able to maintain a general good health, and I'm at my lowest weight, but lowest weight since 2002. Anyway, I'm at like 183 right now. And yeah, the exercise of our faith is a lot like exercise for getting your body in shape. It's getting your spiritual life in shape. And I've talked about that a lot. Carnivore has had a big influence on my overall spirituality because it's forced me to be careful about what I put in my mouth. And then I started thinking, well, what about the other things that I'm doing, like, vaping and smoking and stuff that I was doing in the past, that I've been able to cut out watching things that are not good to put into your eye, not good to put into your ear to listen to, that alter the way you think about life. And just like the food that we eat alters your body, and you don't realize it, it creeps up on you. Well, the same thing when you're indulging in things that are bad for your soul, it creeps up on you. And I did a lot of that in my life prior to this. Because, best way I could say it is I was probably Jimmy Buffett style hedonist, like a lot of parrot heads are, is they just want to drink margaritas and sit by the seaside. And that was kind of what I thought life should be like if you're successful. And I realized that that's not what life's about. And especially as a believer, life is about honoring your Savior and hopefully bringing some more people along with you. And this difficulty has definitely pushed me more in that direction. Every day I get up, and I wore this shirt to work today because I knew I was going to be doing this. This is one of my shirts from the Chosen series, where I think it was Andrew. I can't remember who in the show was quoted as saying that. He was talking about, when I get flustered with all the things that are going on in my life right now, or whatever difficulties or troubles I have going on, or all the things I have to do, I can stop and remember there's only one thing I really have to do today. And that's follow him. I don't know if you can see it back there, but even though there's things that I have to do, there's checklists that I have to go through and stuff I have to do for work. If I'm doing those all in my own power, if I'm only focused on, am I going to make enough money to do this? Is this going to be able to provide for my family? And that's been the big stress, for any man. I think that takes those things seriously about providing for your family. But yet the funny thing is over these 2 years, all those times that I thought there's no light at the end of this tunnel, this is going to run out, everything is about to disappear, I still kept my faith, and every month the Lord has provided to where I still pay my mortgage every month. I still pay my bills every month, and I'm not running into deeper debt as a result of it. And all I can say is thank you, God, because I couldn't have done it on my own. The math doesn't add up. There's no way that I would be afloat when I look at how much is going out and how much is coming in. But you probably know from doing YouTube for a while, you never know where your money is coming from. It's like all these little directions. You get a few dollars here, you get a few dollars there, and you think, oh, I'm making $10 for what I'm doing.
You break it down per hour, and you're like, okay, I'm making 4 cents an hour now. Great. When you calculate it all out over time. People don't realize, I was going to mention that earlier when you said, like, you've got so much on your plate. I can't even imagine, because I don't think a lot of people understand just how much work goes into just a single YouTube video, the planning, the putting it out, the thumbnail, the editing, and then doing multiples of those while you're doing your full-time job and your family and everything else you got going on. It really is a lot. I know when we were talking earlier, I said whenever I get overwhelmed, I like to think God will never give me more than I can handle in one day. But it sounds like you've been put right close to the edge. He's testing you, putting a lot in each of your days. But I love the fact that you're seeing that as a way to grow. I feel like I think with you that
the alternative is to be nihilistic, and that's definitely not a solution.
Right.
Nihilism just leads to destruction. You'll destroy yourself and those around you if you go that road.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Bible tells us that you're going to go through these difficulties. So it's not a surprise. What does it say? Don't be surprised when you're going through these various trials as if something strange was happening to you.
Yeah.
Which is exactly how it feels. It's like, man, something strange is happening. But,
right.
I think we've all been going through something strange for at least 5 years.
Yeah. And it seems to be getting crazier and crazier. But going through something strange and going through the difficulties, I think I'm trying to remember. I think I gifted you that book that Bill Knott gave me, the Embraced by Light. And oh, you got it there. I've been giving that out to everyone, but one of the parts that I really love about
this is a different
book,
one. You told me you either gave it to me. Or
oh
you
yeah,
told
yeah,
me
that one
it
too.
was
That's
Return
from
to
my friend
Simple.
Kim. Return
I
to
haven't
Simple.
had a chance to read it yet. I got it on my bedside.
I think you'll really like it. Anyone that's watching, I love that book because anyone that's considering carnivore, if you talk to someone about it, they always have some reason why it's crazy. I can't do it. But if you read that book, it's like a Dr. Berry video where you're just like, this is just common sense. This is so simple. The way that she lays it all out in that book is so simple. But the other book, Embraced by Light, the part I love about that book is it talks about the fact that part of our purpose here in life is to struggle so that we can strengthen ourselves as spiritual beings. And the fact that we want to do that. That's not that we want to do. That's what we're here for. That's kind of the purpose, is to go through that struggle so that we can become more resilient and stronger on the other end of it. So yeah, I don't know. When I reframe things that way, it makes it easier. But yeah, I can't imagine what you're going through. We got lots of comments here, folks praying for Dante.
Awesome.
There
is power in prayer. I'll tell you that. A lot of times you look around and you feel like there's, when you're going through stuff like this, sometimes you feel like God's far off. And I read the Bible with my family each morning, with rare exception. But since I've been working a new job, I'm back in retail. Oh God, it's a new world out there. But so I'm strapped to somebody else's schedule, which makes it difficult because there's days I got to get up at 5 a.m, and then there's other days I got to work until 10 o'clock at night, or even almost 11, and then it's a half-hour drive home. So by the time I get home, I'm ramped up and I can't get to bed on time. But gosh, I forgot even why I started talking about that. But yeah, it's just been. Oh, that's right. We were talking about why it seems like God is so far off. And then as I read these passages in the morning, because we go through one chapter in 4 different books every morning, and then we talk about it a little bit. And it's been eye-opening how many times, especially when you're reading the Psalms or the Proverbs, God, don't hide your face from me. Please don't turn away from me. And you're so far away. When are you going to come? And it's like he's there the whole time, but he has to let you go through that fire sometimes. He's there like with Daniel and the flames, or not Daniel, but Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and the flames. He's there with you, but you're still in the fire. You may not be feeling as much of the fire as you would if you were lost in your thought about it, but he's still there. Absolutely.
Should we
and
take
also Daniel in the lion's den?
Yeah. Coach Lisa says, hello, brother. May the Lord continue to bless you. Oh.
Where'd you go?
There we go. Sorry. My camera's weird. I bumped the desk and it just turns off.
It's great to see Lisa in here. She's a wonderful coach for people, and a beautiful sister in Christ. I'm so thankful that she's part of the carnivore community.
I agree.
I got to do a quick shout out because I cannot tell you how important this has been on this journey with illness. When I don't feel like cooking anything and I don't even feel like eating anything, but I know I've got to eat something. I've probably eaten one of these a day at least over the last 30 days, which, well, thank God they're the only sponsor I have. And this is why I got to shout them out though. They know I haven't been broadcasting for over a month, and they still maintain the sponsorship. Most of the time I got to fight tooth and nail with just affiliates to get paid for things that people bought that I use, and they bought that using my link or something like that. But these folks at Carnivore Bar have been just like family when it comes to helping me out. And then just the fact that I had them, because without them, I don't think I would have had the nutrition I needed to be able to get healthy, because I just didn't. It was hard to eat. And real quick, I'm going to show people, because I know some people complain. They'll say, oh, these things are gritty and they're hard to eat. And I said, well, it's survival food. It's just wonderful to have when you need it. And I have needed it so much in the past month. Usually what I do is I take them like this, because it's easy to get it out as a complete thing if I cut it open like that. And then I'll take my salt, grind it down to fine, and just put 2 little spurts on there, because they don't put enough salt on them. And they're fantastic. I'm not going to eat one right now, but that's how I've been doing it. And I don't know if I would have lived through this if I hadn't had those carnivore bars. So I can't help but give them a shout out for their kindness, for their sticking with me through this difficult time, and giving me something that helped me to stay alive while I was going through all this.
Yeah,
So,
those are some
thank you,
good
Carnivore Bar, and Josh, my buddy over there, that brought me into them.
Yeah, this is a good group of folks running that company. I love the Carnivore Bar too, especially with all the traveling with the documentary. It's been a lifesaver on many occasions.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was great just to have something when I get home at night and I don't feel like eating a whole steak just before bed. You don't want to eat something big like that, because it does make it harder to wake up in the morning. But a Carnivore Bar a lot of times will solve that when I've needed it. But I mean, it has been a true lifesaver, because I've had to work throughout this illness, because my and this is the crazy thing. The medical system is so beyond screwed. I don't even know how to say this, but I don't know what I had or have, because I'm still kind of going through it a little bit. I went to see my doctor about 1 week into this, in the first week, and they looked down my throat and they looked in my ears. They didn't get any blood work. They didn't take any urine. They didn't check anything. They didn't, like ask me. I explained as much as I could, but it was like, okay, well, here, come back in 2 months, get your blood work the week before. I'm like, do I need to know if I'm got something that's communicable to go to work? And they're like, no, it's not communicable. I said, but my wife has it. Doesn't that mean it's communicable, or could it be maybe environmental? They didn't even venture to give me an answer. It was just like, no, don't worry about it. So I've had to push through with work. I did miss 1 day because I was so exhausted. I couldn't possibly get out of bed that day. But I was glad I only missed 1 day. But I mean, it was just pushing through every single minute. And I keep a box of these things in my locker. And there's so many days that I wasn't able to even prepare anything before I left. I was like, oh, thank God I got those Carnivore bars. I saw somebody commenting about how expensive they are. Yeah, they're not cheap. It's not cheap to get grass-fed beef, do all the work of drying it, which takes some time, and then doing the tallow and rendering it and getting the good quality salt. But they're lifesavers. So, I mean, I know everybody can't do them and they're not for everybody, but I think they're wonderful. And I'm even happier now that they've shown to be a company that isn't just about the money, because if they were, they would have dumped me weeks ago.
Right. All right. Well, I'm sorry. I'm just looking. There's a bunch of comments coming through. Patty says, Dante is back. Such an inspiration.
Hi, Patty. Yeah, if anybody's got any questions, I'd love to try to answer them. I feel like I'm going to leave something out talking about all this. But yeah, it was rough. It was rough. But I think a lot of people are, you're going to face illness. You're going to face stress. You're going to face difficulties in life. I thought that all the anxiety had been gone for so long that I thought, no, that's not what this is. I'm just working. I'm just working a lot. That's all. But I didn't realize, I ignored it or whatever, that it was just, you're burning that candle too much, and it gets to where it builds up and builds up, and eventually, like for the past month, also, and maybe because of the illness, but really it was before that, I was to the point I don't want to look at my phone. I don't want to be in front of my computer. And like I said, I was doing work with the insurance company. I was on my phone and computer from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed. And I just got to where I was like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to look at my email. I don't want to do anything that involves the computer right now. And, but, you know, I feel like I have a responsibility too. When it comes to this way of eating. One, I want to communicate the truth about anything that I go through, that it's not all pure roses on everything, but it's doggone the closest thing to healing everything that's ever happened to me. So it's still hard not to call it a miracle diet or a miracle way of eating, a miracle that came into my life and changed everything. Because despite all this, I'm still below my high school wrestling weight. I feel physically like a kid, whereas before I started this, I felt like I was becoming an old man.
Right.
So,
well,
yeah,
that's one thing I've seen a lot on Carnivore is people that find incredible healing and they do so well on Carnivore. But then there's some people that are like, you know, I'm doing everything right on Carnivore, but I'm still suffering. And oftentimes I think what it is stress, just huge amounts of stress.
Yeah.
And it's such a tough thing because it's like, what do you do? Like, Dante, don't be stressed. There isn't a solution.
Don't worry, be happy.
Yeah. But it's a huge thing. You have stress, you release cortisol, it affects your hormones, affects your sleep, then your sleep gets bad, depression, anxiety ramp up, it all just rolls in from there. I just wish there was something like we could do to help you more with it other than pray for you, which I'm going to do. And I'm sure many people in the chat mentioned will do as well, but I wish there was something. Is there anything else we can do to support you or for you?
Nothing I would ask anybody to do extra. I could tell you that. I'm just thankful for the love that I get from the folks. My subscriber count continued to rise, even though I was gone for a month. So I figured you must be out there talking about is Dante okay? I'm worried about, I don't know what you were doing, but I know a lot of people are joining my Facebook. They're asking me for friend requests that are friends of yours. And I thought, man, like everybody that's coming on is a friend with Kerry. So maybe he's talking me up. I appreciate it.
I do shout you out. I do shout you out quite a bit. I mentioned to you just before we jumped on the call, I'm in the basement of the Montello Theater right now. And we've been playing our Healing Humanity trailer before every single movie. And Dante's in the trailer. So it's kind of cool. Like for the last several weeks, not that we have a huge movie theater here in little small town Montello, but I literally like an hour ago when I was loading the movie, I just took this screenshot. It's really kind of blurry, but this was from my phone of Dante on the big screen. And then here's one of Bill Knott on the big screen. So anyways, it's kind of cool, but yeah, I think a lot of people are still following you and subscribing and doing it just because of the love for you. I mean, I shout you out every now and then, but probably too, they haven't seen you post in a little while on YouTube, so they're probably wondering about that also. But
probably the best thing that could help, because my full-time job does not cover my expenses. My wife is working again now, and I personally hate that because I feel like that if she wants to work, it's for whatever she wants it for, and it's not supposed to be supporting the family. But if I can maintain my job and keep my channel going, I think combined with those two things and trying to maybe tone it down on some of all the extra stuff I was doing on Facebook and Instagram and Rumble and Odyssey and whatever else. I mean, it's just like, it's too much.
Yeah.
You blow my mind how you're able to do all that you do and run a movie theater and make documentaries, and you're coming up with a mini series or a series for Carnivore. I'm like, wow, but you do have some help though. That does make a big difference.
I have a lot of help. That's what's different. I'm not doing it by myself. Got lots of people volunteering, and my family's helping too. And like on the social media front, I'm a little bit on Facebook, but it's pretty much just YouTube. I don't even Twitter. I've never been on, and those other ones because I don't know how other people do it honestly, unless they have people helping them. It's so much just to keep up with YouTube, but. I told you this when we were filming you. I think I said this, but I want to, and I'm praying that it's going to happen, and I'm hopeful that it's going to happen. But I want to live in a world where you're doing this YouTube full time, You're so inspirational. It's not just me saying this. So many people have said, Kerry, just like you, I learned about carnivore from Dante. And then I watched some Dr. Barry videos, like literally changing people's lives. And this isn't flattery. I think it's really important not to flatter for the sake of flattery. I think it's important to tell the truth. But when this documentary comes out, I'm really hoping it just blows up because so it helps a lot of people.
Sure, that'd be nice.
Besides helping a lot of people, I'm hoping too that it's going to help you, Dante, and send a lot of people to your channel, because when we filmed you, like I'm in the zone right there filming and asking questions, and I don't like afterwards. I'm like, I couldn't even tell you what we said. I don't even remember. I'm just there. But we're working so hard right now on the documentary and editing it. And
was that last October you came?
What's that?
Was that last October you came? I feel like it was longer ago.
That sounds about right, though.
Yeah,
I'm terrible with dates, but
I was right. I was right in the middle of that situation where with the employer and the lawsuit situation. And oh gosh, it was.
You were telling me that too. You were stressed and you had a lot going on, and I'm like, I almost felt bad filming you, but I don't know, like, it all seemed to go really well, but our editor John is working on the documentary right now, and your part in the documentary is so powerful. I think it's going to inspire so many people, and I'm praying and hoping that a lot of people find healing like I found and like other people found, but more so they're going to be like, I want to learn more about this Dante guy. So hopefully that too will maybe put you in a position to be on YouTube more or working more on that stuff.
Yeah. Well, that would be nice. Like I say, I am doing well at the job. I don't want to tell anybody where it is because they're a large corporation and they don't really like that kind of thing. Any social media presence that brings any attention to employees or whatever. So I don't know. That's one of those things I got to grapple with. But, I've been there 3 months now and I've had 2 basically promotions since I've been there. So, but I mean, I started in the basement part-time. And so now I'm up in a better position, and I'm just grateful to be able to work and to do the things that I'm doing now, because if you'd have told me 5 years ago, all right, 40 hours a week, you're going to be on your feet, you're going to be lifting heavy things. For 2 months of that, I was outside all the time. So I was in the hot Florida sun, lifting heavy things and running forklifts and stuff like that. And now I'm indoors again, which, I got to deal with technology more, but I get to deal with people, which I really have enjoyed. And I've enjoyed the fact that people respond to somebody who wants to help them, serve them, give them the service that they came to the store for, because so many times I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to go spend my money anywhere, because nobody gives you any service. Nobody treats you like they care you're even there. Like, my phone company, Verizon. I haven't been able to return my mother's cell phone that she just got 3 months before she passed away. And it's been July, August, September. It's been almost 3 months since she passed. And I have spent at least 15 hours talking to Verizon about getting this phone back so that they won't charge us for it. And it's like, I've been hung up on every call. They claim they don't do it on purpose, but it happens every single time that I get to the last stage of getting something fixed. And then when they finally do send me something to send it back in, they send me this big envelope, and there's nothing in here but an envelope and nothing to return it in. And that's like the 3rd time they've sent me this envelope, and they say, oh, well, you got to pay for the shipping. I'm like, you don't even tell me where to send it. They can't even give me an address to send it to. So people are used to that kind of service everywhere they go. They're used to not getting service. And I have had a ball face to face with people. And I've talked about this when we went to see Dr. Kiltz in Tampa, whenever that was. Geez. April, I think.
I have no idea.
April. Yeah, I know you've been everywhere since then. I can't even remember. And that's the last time other than Yuma, that's the last time I went somewhere. But getting together face to face with people is so important. And that's why I'm still looking forward to getting together in Tampa for, what is it? It's not KetoCon. What do they call it?
Hack Your Health.
I'm still planning to be there. I just need to know where I'm going to be staying, if I'm going to be staying somewhere.
Oh yeah, we got you. We got you.
Okay. That's good. I know Adam was saying he wasn't sure about if there was going to be whatever, but that's great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being there, and I'm glad. That's another thing. My employer has been really great about scheduling, so that I've been able to be for the Healing Humanity stuff on Sundays that I do with the folks there, and on Wednesdays, I still have my meetings from my website. I don't know. The website's not built properly, so I don't want to try to look like I'm hawking that. I try to be available for the people who do join and want to come ask me questions. And it's a group thing, but every group, the biggest group I've had is 3 people so far, which I'm not complaining about that. I don't have the skills to put the site together that makes it easy. It's been hard for people to figure out how to use it. And I think even your site, which is very easy to use compared to mine, I know you've had some difficulty with people figuring out how to do the Zoom thing and all that. So, but just the fact that they've made the schedule available has been wonderful. So, I mean, I feel like I'm moving in the right direction, but overall, my experience with all this is the Lord is like telling me, where is your focus? Is your focus on yourself? Is your focus on your worries about your family? Or is your focus on what your job is here as a believer that's supposed to be showing Christ to the world, that light in the darkness, or are you just showing yourself? And I think sometimes, I have a tendency to be selfish, and maybe some of that was creeping in, and the Lord just had to work on it with me. But that's okay. I'm glad if that's the case.
Right.
Because when I'm weak, then I'm strong, because I have to lean on Him.
Peggy said, I didn't get the name of the books you named. One was Embraced by the Light. Didn't get the other one.
Return to Simple.
Return to Simple. Yeah. By Kim Van Dula. Return to Simple. Yep. Yeah. Kim wrote that book. I've never met her. She sent it to me online, but she's actually coming to Wisconsin with her family. And just quick story. I gifted that to my friends who are Amish, and they saw me healing and they're like, what happened? You're like half the size you were last time we saw you. And I told them about Carnivore and they knew about it. Long story short, I brought them that book. I dropped the book off, and like 2 months later, I got a phone call from William. He's Amish. They don't have a phone. They have a community phone. So it's rare to get a phone call, but he said his wife, Esther, is absolutely thriving because of that book. She had all sorts of illnesses. She was going to need like cortisone shots in her knee and some surgery. And it's all healed from reading that book. And then I talked to Kim just shortly after that. Kim's like, I'm going to be in Wisconsin. Maybe we can go visit William and Esther. So Kim's going to come here and we're going to show her the movie theater. And then we're going to head over to the Amish community and visit with William and Esther. But
gosh, that's insane to me. I would think the Amish would look at this book and like, well, we've been doing this for years.
Right? It's crazy, Dante. Like you're saying, man, the world's changing. So the Amish they're incredible. They're, in terms of like natural, they're outside, they're working, they're doing all of that. But the standard American diet has crept into them too. We're good friends with the William and Esther for 5 or 6 years now. And they'll go to the gas station and eat pizza and junk food and lots of baked breads and carbs and sugar and things like that. But the cool thing is, so Kim, who wrote that book, she used to coach the Amish. And the reason she wrote that book is because she wanted to reach many, many more Amish. She's like, I can write a book and then we can just give it out to all the Amish people. But the cool thing was, she's like, the Amish versus the English, which are the non-Amish, us. She's like, they're the easiest people to coach. Like, you tell them and they'll just get it and they'll just do it, where some other people might be a little fussier or harder to change their ways. So
yeah, I think that's what doctors deal with too, especially here in the United States, where we've grown up to think just, there's a pill out there that's going to fix it. And if you go to your doctor, he'll eventually give you that pill. And, they used to talk, I know some doctors used to talk about eating right or something. Now they're just like, I don't want to do that because I got to go against the grain. Everybody's like, I don't want to eat right. I want a pill that's going to fix everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I give the doctors a lot of, I hate on them sometimes, but then I'm like, it's true. A lot of them, they do have good intentions, and they're like, I have 5 minutes to talk to someone. You mentioned diet, and they're like, I'm out. We're not talking about diet, but
yeah. Well, they're in a system. It's like Dr. Barry says, they're just dudes and chicks. They're just like us. They specialize in a field. And unfortunately, the teaching in that specialty area is driven to sell drugs.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. There's
Crazy
no other intention.
I was thinking about this the other day. All the craziness that's going on in the world right now, AI being a big part of it.
Oh, yeah. That's another one that's like out there that just...
Think about this. For the doctor, we've got the good doctors, Dr. Barry and Dr. Hampton, that are actually treating the root cause, and they're helping people with their nutrition and they're healing them. And then you have the doctors that just, okay, what do you have wrong with you? Okay, let me look it up. Here's this medication. It's like AI could replace that in a second and actually do a better job than that could. I'm not suggesting that that's what should happen, but that's what's going to happen. So it's like these doctors that went to school for so long, if that's all you're doing is, oh, here's your blood pressure, here's a statin, and you do that thousands of times over and over again. You don't even need AI to do that. Like a child could do that. You have this, here's a statin kind of thing over and over again.
Yeah, AI is one of those things that it's like I look back at my life and remember watching the Terminator series or something and thinking, oh, I'm glad we're realizing we don't want to go this direction.
Yeah.
And the further down the road we get, it's like, are you guys using this as a guidebook? Was 1984 an instruction manual for you?
You know, another one? Talking about movies, Jurassic Park. So in Jurassic Park, there's a quote. I'm going to screw it up, but it was like, the scientists were so busy wondering whether or not they could, they never stopped to decide if they should. That's what I feel like is going on with AI. Well, can we do more and more and more until we just completely... The biggest thing that scares me with all of that, not to go down a rabbit hole with AI though, is not necessarily robots like coming and killing us and shooting us, but replacing human jobs. You are taking people's purpose in life. Everyone in life says, oh, I want to win the lottery. And most of the people that end up winning the lottery end up miserable and on drugs because they no longer have a purpose. And when you have AI, you have like, even like I've heard Elon Musk and others say before, oh, it's going to be great. People can just stay at home and do their hobbies. I think people underestimate what's going to happen when you have an entire humanity with no purpose anymore. People are going to end up depressed and miserable, and it's not going to turn out well.
Well, you don't develop capacity for those type of gifts in your life without adversity. And if you don't have that capacity, it destroys you. It would have destroyed me. That's why I never won the lottery. That's why I've never been wealthy in that way, is that I know when I look back, especially when I used to want to be in movies and stuff when I was young. I was a theater major originally in college before I became a history major. And I wanted to go to Hollywood and be in films. Man, if I'd have been in that crowd, even though I didn't get along with them a lot on their viewpoints, it would have sucked me in, I'm sure. So, it's like the Lord keeps you away from things you don't have capacity for. But we're like constantly chasing this utopian idea that there's a world where computers will run everything for us, and that's going to be good. And it's going to be intelligent. My phone started talking to me yesterday. I use Grok occasionally to look things up because it's so much more accurate than doing a Google search. And I don't really trust Google. I'm not sure I trust anything, but out there. But between Larry Page and Elon Musk, I tend to lean toward Elon Musk. But anyway, I left it on and I had my volume on. And I was talking to my wife about something, and then my phone started talking to me in a female voice like it was my friend. And it was so bizarre. I was like, why are you listening to me, first of all? And why are you talking to me? And it's like, oh, don't worry about it. It's just, I'm like, don't try to calm me down. That makes me less calm.
Right.
You're not supposed to talk to me. You're an inanimate object.
Right. Well, the thing with AI too is everything I've learned on Carnivore is we get sicker and sicker when we escape from what is natural for humans. We're under fluorescent lights. We're eating food that's science experiments that we were never intended to eat. And the further and further we get away from what we would have naturally done throughout history, the sicker we end up getting. When you talk about AI, there's nothing like further away from natural than AI and replacing our jobs with robots and computers. It's just crazy.
Well, and I know this is off the carnivore topic, but I mean, I think carnivore's topic is about life, and what we're talking about are things that are affecting our life. I'm looking at my kids that are, we homeschooled them up until my son was in 10th grade and my other son was in 6th grade. And that was about the extent of our ability to teach them, because neither my wife or I had the math skills to cover algebra. So they wound up going to school. But I see, like, my youngest son was able to finish 7th and 8th grade in the same year. But I know from watching him doing his studies that he used AI a lot to study. And I'm like, well, don't just get the answer. Read what it says and at least learn something. But I know from me not, if I hadn't been guiding him that way, this is what kids are doing. They're just going on and asking the AI for all their answers. And a lot of times they can do these courses online. So they just, everything is AI doing the answer, and they maybe put a little spin on it or something. But kids are not going to learn how to think if they're going to just trust some machine to do all the thinking for them. And as soon as the machine, if it has any intelligence at all, which it's supposed to be, artificial intelligence is supposed to be at, like, what is Grok 4, like a team of PhDs or something. So you're just going to go into life without the ability to think. And I think there's a large portion of our population that's going to be facing that in the next few years. Yeah. So, but these things don't necessarily scare me. It's more like, if we're going to live in a society, we got to address these issues. But it's like, how do you address something like AI? Because if you don't do it, China's going to do it. Somebody's going to do it.
Right.
And, I'm not sure oh, look, my watch just started talking to me out of the blue.
Stop talking about AI.
I'm telling you.
That's crazy. Sharon,
I'm at the point where I don't even want my Apple Watch anymore, but I really need it because it's so helpful for driving around here. Everything is so chaotic in Florida. Florida is becoming one big city.
Yeah. Sharon said, but we also glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance, character, and character, hope.
Amen. Yep. That was a hard thing. That was a hard one to get through my head while I'm going through the suffering. But I just kind of grinned and bore it for about a month here with all this heaviness. And even though I don't feel like it, there's a song out there that somebody introduced me to a few months back by Brandon Lake and Jelly Roll called Hard Fought Hallelujah. And every word of that song is like right here on me lately. It is a hard fought hallelujah, but I still wake up and say, praise you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you. My house is here. My wife is here. My kids are here. Everybody's good. I may be under a lot of stress and pressure and the world is insane, but your grace is still sufficient.
Yeah. Lots of comments flying through. Let's see. Where do we?
Yeah, I feel bad because I'd like to be able to get anybody in the conversation. I see so many people I know here. Amy Hospice here. Target Prime Rib is here. Charger Mopar. He's on yours and mine. He's always there.
He's everywhere. Is Charger Mopar real? He's AI.
This is coming on my channel. I'm not seeing the ones you're seeing. I guess you see all of them because we're using your StreamYard, right?
Yeah, I think so. Papa Carnivore asked, Dante, has your energy come back yet since you've gotten back on track?
It started to. When I called Kerry on Monday, I was like, oh man, I'm fine. The dawn is breaking on this illness. I'm feeling normal again. But spending so much time, I was probably in bed 10, 12 hours a day for the past month. And spending that much time on your back, I don't want to get into the medical side of it, but let's just say I think there may be some kind of infection that came along now that I'm dealing with, and I'm going to find out Monday about that, whether or not that's the case, because all of a sudden it hit me like a ton of bricks again 2 or 3 days ago. But yeah, getting clean definitely helps. I mean, I feel healthy. I'm just tired some days, and I'm not used to that. Ever since I've been on Carnivore, it's like wake up at 5 a.m. I'm ready to go. I got so much energy I can't even think of what I want to do. but I think maybe, you know, several years of that after being sedentary for so many years, maybe I just did too much. Not maybe that's something I do in my life. Ever since I was a kid, I take on too many classes in school. I take on too many side projects. I take on too much. It's just like I want to do everything. And I think that's the way I'm wired. Some people call it passionate. My wife calls it Dante. And I think it's a little bit of insanity.
I wonder if it gets turbocharged though when you're eating this way, because I noticed it for myself. Like, I'm making up for lost time. I don't know, but I've noticed it for a lot of other carnivores too, where it's like you get this sudden energy after being sick for so long and you just try to go 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I feel vitalized just being here with you, because all day today I thought, oh gosh, this is a rough day. I don't know if I can make it. And I pushed through and I got a good day in. And I was driving home. I was like, okay, I'm excited because I'm going to be on talking to my people that I love again. And that includes you, brother. But everybody out there. And, but my body was just like, no, you want to go home and lay down and go to sleep. But I feel great now. You know, I tell you, the community is so much more important than I ever put any value into in the past. I mean, I put some value in it, but I realize now it may be even more important than the diet is how you interact with people. Because one of the things that happened to me several times over these past few years is I've isolated myself from physical interaction with people. It's all been online, and getting back into the workplace where I'm dealing with people face to face, even though people can drive you absolutely nuts sometimes, there's a lot of good to be found in interacting with people if you're on the right track.
Mike Nelson said, you guys are doing the Lord's work. I have so much more hope for the future. Thanks, brother. Dante was a godsend when you needed him.
You guys are a godsend to me too.
Tracy said, Dante, I saw your early videos. That's how I learned about lion carnivore. So thankful for all you guys and girls, praying for you.
Thank you, Terry.
We got greetings from Phoenix, Arizona.
D's
Charles
Rider Service.
Dante was my initial intro to carnivore.
Thank you, KC.
Morton said, rest up, Dante. When you've been the candle in the dark for so many carb addicts for so long, a small burnout is fine. There's others out there to pick up the torch.
Yeah. That's another thing that's kind of been in my head too, is like, gosh, there's so many people that are doing a great job at this. I found Dr. Hampton like a couple months ago, and I thought, man, this guy's really nailing it. And of course, Dr. Baker and Dr. Berry, and there's several others out there. And sometimes there's some controversy when, like, you know, Saladino wanted to go with fruits and stuff, and Dr. Amara is talking about fermented vegetables, and people get upset because, I mean, you get attached to something, and carnivore has done me so well, it's hard to want to say, no, I don't want to try anything else. I'm happy where I am. And when you're in those communities, it can be confusing, but I figured there's enough people talking about it. Steak and Butter Gal is doing great things. You're doing great things. And there's a part of me that thought, well, I'll let them carry the torch. They're doing it better than I am. And I'm feeling like I'm, you know, getting burnt out on all this computer stuff, but I'm not burnt out with letting people know about this. I still, every time I go out into public and I look at, like, I'm walking around the store or where I work at, you can't breach the subject. It's not, you don't walk up to somebody and say, hey, you know, are you tired of being fat and unhealthy and achy and walking with a limp and all the stuff you got going on? I got the solution for you. But it's, you know, you can't do that. So that's why I'm thankful to have this outlet where I can share people what it's changed for me. Because if they can see somebody that's gone from wondering what it would be like if I could unsip this thing that I live in and take it off and be the person I feel like underneath, because that's what's happened. And when I go out into the public, I'm reminded daily, people don't know what they could be experiencing if they change the way they eat. So it's a blessing to be able to bring more people in.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that, Rick. Yeah, I figured that's the thing. That's another thing I've got to bring to the game is, you know, the struggles of daily life. Eating steak has been almost non-existent this year, except for the fact that I was able to buy a whole cow recently. I haven't had an even chance to talk about that on YouTube. But I usually like to share that kind of thing. And I haven't wanted to eat the steak because I'm like, oh, I don't want to waste my ribeyes when I can't taste anything. But, you know, pretty much since Christmas, that was the last time I saw ribeye for under $10 a pound.
Yeah.
And when it goes on sale now, it's like $15 a pound. And I can't afford that. So, yeah, that's been one other thing that's been out there is the cost of meat has been higher lately. The cost of everything has been higher. I'm not going to say it's just meat, but I do know that my the guy that works at the Publix where I get my meat cut, he knows me by now because he's seen me so many times come in there and get orders cut, and I fill my freezer up. And he said, "This is your fault. These prices." Maybe. I don't think I had that much influence. But I think in general, the whole community probably had enough influence. But there's other factors involved. And I talked about it, and people said today, you know, there's all kind of controversy whenever you talk about what's going on out there. But I had my rancher friend, Miles Moore up at Big Mo Cattle. You know, he told me months ago about something that was going on where there was like 1 million head of cattle that were supposed to be coming in from out of the country that weren't going to come, and that was going to affect the prices. And I can't help but say that he was prophetic in that because the prices have been way higher. They've been double what they were since Christmas.
Yeah, it's been crazy. We just did a big meal prep, carnivore meal prep. Jen and the girls and I did. We did 140 meatballs. We're like, we got a good deal on some ground beef, and we're like, let's just go nuts and freeze a bunch of it up. And we did like different flavors. Like we did a bacon blue cheese meatball and like a cheddar one, and but yeah, the prices have been crazy. Been a lot of.
When you make your meat, you're not using any cornmeal in the meatballs, right?
No, straight up ground beef, 1 egg, and then a little bit of cheese or bacon.
Eggs have been a godsend this year too, because you know, that helps keep some of the costs down. I go to Sam's and I'll get their pasture raised eggs, even though I know the pasture raised may not be actually pasture raised. The shells are harder and the eggs look brighter. I don't know. I like them better. And really, they're not that much more than regular eggs. And my wife loves eggs in the morning. So that's been a big part for her. She got off for a little while too, because being sick and not having the energy to want to get up either. But just here lately in the past week, she's like, yeah, I want to get back 100% because I feel awful. She's over the illness. At least I think she is. And she's like, I'm sore. She went to bend over. You know, because she's been a lot of time in bed too, because she's had the same illness. But she went to bend over the other day, and she, you know, didn't bend at her knees, and she's like, "Oh, something popped. Something's not good," and it's been rough since then. But she said, "I didn't have this when I was doing carnivore, but it's like all the neck pain, in the new back pain. It's just like hit her like a ton of bricks when she's been off kind of since her birthday as well." Now, she hasn't been, you know, going overboard, but she's definitely had a lot more stuff that's not on carnivore than I've had. Because I only had those couple of real big indiscretions. And then there's been some times where I had a little piece of toast because that was all I could muster the energy to make that day. Right. And I didn't want to eat another $15 carnivore bar. But yeah, we're hitting a lot of stuff here. Eggs, though, eggs are wonderful. I love eggs. I wasn't able to do them early on. So I found out that I've been able to eat some things I couldn't eat before. But there's some things that I found out that I definitely can't. And getting back into sugar or anything with dyes and all that citric acid and junk into food that's just not supposed to be there, it sticks with you. I've had like a lot of gut pain that was reminiscent of what I was feeling before I started carnivore, while I was, you know, when I would have those things that I shouldn't have, like the pizza the night before or whatever.
Right.
The night after that, the day after that, it would just be like, oh God, that was not a good idea. But at the same time, I was thinking, if I don't eat something, I'm not gonna be able to have any energy to get up the next day. I'm not making excuses. I mean, it's a reason, but it's definitely not an excuse. It'd be better to eat something healthy. It's just when you don't have the energy and everything. Yeah, pizza is disgusting. Everything I saw as far as in the past when I've tasted those things, I'm like, oh gosh, spit it out. But because I was just so hungry and I didn't have any taste, I don't smell anything right now. It's so weird. It was acceptable because it was something, but
well,
I don't accept it.
I'm thankful that you're sharing the truth and you're letting people know, because lots of people out there struggling also. And,
Rick pointed out using cheese and butter. I did eat a lot of butter when I was trying to stay strict on carnivore and get some fat in there. Cheese is just hard. Cheese doesn't do well with me, so I've avoided that. But I did do a lot of butter, but it was still like the butter. And I thought, I'm still too hungry. I still need something more. And then I thought, butter and bread. I can make bread in 3 seconds. I don't have to cook something. And when you're feeling so down, it is what it is. What did Amy say there? Through my chronic illness and pre-heart surgery and recovery for heart surgery, there has not been a single soul to come help me fix something to eat or have something to eat. Determination is the key. Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to be tough. I've been tough a lot on this, but I wasn't always tough this past month.
You've been going a long time too, Dante. I'm trying to remember now. I remember when you told me you hit 1,000 days. You're way past that now. I'm so bad.
Yeah. Well, January is going to be 5 years. So January 14th will be 5 years.
Wow. Could you imagine that 5 years is a significant thing for me? Because I often think when I talk to people that are scared of doing carnivore, I always say to them, okay, well, imagine you don't do carnivore. Where are you going to be 5 years from now doing whatever you were doing before? Could you imagine where you would be right now if you didn't?
I probably wouldn't be alive. I've looked back at that already, and the road I was on was destruction. The doctors weren't figuring anything out. If the illness didn't kill me, I would have taken matters into my own hands probably, because it was that bad. Real quick, I want to thank Charles Roner that just
Ribeye for Dante. Thanks, Charles.
Sent me $20 there. I appreciate that. That is a very kind thing. I got to get a ribeye now. I'll get it. I'll remember you, Charles.
That'll be your first video when you're ready. Someone said in here, I loved it. It's like you focus on your health, focus on what you got to do. Don't worry about getting content out for people. But when you're ready, that'll be cool.
Maintaining my channel is important too, because that part of my income is still required to cover all the bills here. So it's not just a passion. It has become something that it's like, this is how I pay the bills for my family. It's a big part of it. So
yeah, I'm
just thankful that folks have stuck around, and even though it hasn't grown as fast, it's gone down a lot, being away for a month. YouTube is pretty, they're pretty rough on you with the algorithm when you're not putting stuff out. So those things all play a role, but I just said, all right, Lord, you're telling me to take a break. I'm going to take a break. And I think I needed it. And I'm glad to be able to come back and talk with you and share with your audience and my audience, and just get back in the flow of things. I don't know, when I'm going to do the next one, because I'm still, kind of going through this thing with the exhaustion of this illness, but hopefully it's going to be over with soon.
Yeah. Well, we're all praying for you. I'm praying that you get a really good night's sleep tonight in the next couple of days and start healing. There's a couple people on here. Almost everyone knows who Dante is, but there's a couple people that don't. We have 358 people on here right now. Everyone go make sure you're subscribed to Dante. And how many videos do you have now? Thousands, right? It's got to be thousands.
I don't know. There's at least 700. I'd have to
go catch up. If you don't know who Dante is, go catch up. You can watch some of his older videos, some of his earlier stuff. It's all really, really good content, really inspiring stuff. Make sure you subscribe and all that.
One thing I would say about it is it's just whatever comes to mind, as not scripted. It's just me living this life and finding the changes that have come from it. And it has been life altering. I mean, it's changed me physically, mentally, and it's helped me to grow spiritually. So it's been one of the best things that ever happened to me. other than finding the Lord and finding my beautiful wife.
Yeah. Well, your Ruckfest videos are some of my favorites, and you're just going off the cuff on those. So those are always incredible. And the other thing I'm thankful for, besides you teaching me about carnivore, which has completely saved my life, is you teaching me about the air fryer, which I relented for a long. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm gonna ruin a steak, throw a steak in an air fryer. I can't do that. And now it's my go-to. And in Wisconsin, winter, when I don't want to go outside and mess around with the grill when it's freezing outside,
I imagine
you can't even tell the difference. It's incredible. We use our air fryer all the time. But I waited a long time. I watched a lot of your videos talking about air fryer steaks. I'm like, not doing it. But I finally relented.
Yep, I'm still using the air fryer too, man. I'll tell you, I wouldn't be able to do it without it. I did get to where I'm doing burgers more often on the stove, but while I've been ill, it's been air fryer because it's like, okay, I got it in there, turn it on, close it. And I love that chef maker because it just does all the work for me for the most part. I've been using the same one for over 2 years. I've never had an air fryer last more than a year. So that's something. It's ready for a new basket though.
Hey, Terry B's got another ribeye coming Dante's way. Super sticker from Terry B.
Awesome. Thanks, Terry. Well, I don't know if I've covered everything that I thought about covering when I talked to you, but I just wanted to come and get people up to date because, I know a lot of people were interested in what's going on. And I think that's something I'm still grappling with, this idea of people interested in what I have to say other than my family, which they get enough of it. So they're like, oh, it's all right. We don't need to hear anymore. It's still something, the idea of having a channel with 80,000 followers or 78,997. I think I just saw it said. When I hit 10,000, I was like, oh, that many people are interested in hearing something I've got to say. So I guess it's a challenge for your ego and stuff like that. But I haven't really felt like it's been that bad. It's been just more of a responsibility. I want to make sure I tell people what's going on so that they're not thinking that everything is always perfect just because you changed your diet. But it's definitely a lot better. Definitely a lot better. I wouldn't be alive without it because of where I was before. So it's definitely a miracle, but it doesn't mean everything is perfection. Perfection comes only when we leave this life.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing, Dante. You always have an open invite anytime.
Well, thank you for helping me break the ice to everybody, because that was just one of those things. It's like, how do I just come and start talking about this? It
seems kind of like therapeutic too, right? Let's get it out there. Let's go.
Well, it was last Sunday's Healing Humanity thing that I do with your people on Sunday afternoon. That was the first time I had been on the computer talking face to face with anybody, or on the computer talking since September 10th, I think it was. Which is, like I say, that date is infamous to us now if you're a follower of Charlie Kirk. And I think that had a huge effect on me, along with the grieving I was going through with my mother and all the other stuff. So being able to get in there with that group again and be able to talk after being away for so long was like, this is it. I need somebody I can talk with, not just talk to.
Right. That's one of the cool things with the site that I like, is with the Zoom, you actually see other faces and you're interacting versus just kind of putting your voice out there. For those that don't know, just real quick, we have our membership site, healinghumanity.life, and Dante is on Sundays doing a hangout with Dante, which has been incredible, worth the price of admission alone, in my opinion. But our membership site, the purpose of it isn't to make a whole bunch of money. The proceeds from it are supporting us so that we can do the series in the future. But the other reason is just to help you. It's not for everybody, but there's a lot of people that they're brand new to carnivore and they need more help. They need more guidance. They need coaching. Coach Lisa's on there all the time. We got doctors and experts, and yeah, you can hang out with Dante. Amy Hosp, who's in here, does a hangout also. and it's therapeutic for you, which is awesome. But then it's pretty cool too because it's helping a lot of people, inspiring a lot of people. So, was that Sam I just heard?
Yeah, that was Sam because my wife is getting home. I can hear her getting home from work right now, and Sam's all excited because he can hear her out there, and my other dogs are barking because she's coming in.
Sam is on the in the trailer as well, and on the big screen at Montello Theater every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
There's Sam.
Sam stole the show when we filmed Dante for the documentary. Sam kept cutting in.
Yep. He's a product of Carnivore too, because I would have never found him if I hadn't started walking, which I wouldn't have had the energy to do if I hadn't started Carnivore. Yeah. And he joined me on a walk one day, followed me home. We found his owner, and his owner was not really able to take care of him. So he said, if you want him, you can have him. And he's been with us ever since, leaving fur everywhere all the time.
That's a good boy.
We have tile floors, so we call them sambleweeds. Because it's just hair everywhere, and we sweep it all up, and then 2 days later, it's like we didn't even clean it.
Right. Incredible. Well, I'm so thankful you came on, Dante. I really appreciate you coming on, and appreciate everyone that joined us and all of your comments and all of your support and all of your questions. And like I said, for those that just jumped on in the last couple of minutes, make sure you subscribe to Dante. I have his channel linked in the description below. Yeah. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
I guess, were there any comments that I left out? I don't want to make sure I did, especially if anybody did a super chat, if they'd send something, I didn't see it because I'm not used to using StreamYard.
I think we got all the super chats. Yeah.
Okay, good. I don't want to leave anybody especially when they do that.
I don't know if
I'm thankful for everybody. Just the love and the prayers is more than enough.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll definitely be praying for you. And, hope you're on the road to feeling better and getting some good sleep and all that.
I am. I know good things are coming.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are going through some difficult times right now because there's so many different pressures out there. But there is happiness to be found in the difficulty. And it only comes from the spiritual side. You've got to tap into it. And if you're a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ, I tell you, you've got to take your spiritual life seriously because he wants to take you seriously.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dante. Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Glad to have you. Oh, look, Katie's here.
Hey, Katie. Nice to see you.
I'm glad she decided to come in. I didn't want to pressure her, but
hello.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Take care, Kerry.
Bye, everyone.